Hey there, this is LaQuita with QuitaBugHandmades.com, and thank you so much for joining me today for another tutorial. Today's project features the Love You Lots stamp set. This is a hostess stamp set that you can order when you spend $150 or more in my online Stampin' Up store. We're going to use this cute ladybug image today. And we're also going to use the Layering Love stamp set, and we're going to use this sentiment right here, which I love. I am much more me when I'm with you. I think it's going to be perfect with this ladybug image. So let me show you what today's project looks like. So here is the card I created for today's project. I absolutely love it. Again, I love this sentiment paired with the ladybug image, and I'm going to show you how to watercolor the ladybugs for the front of the card. I absolutely love this card. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm starting with a piece of Stampin' Up's watercolor paper. I'm just going to lay this here. We're going to use basic gray ink to stamp both the ladybugs and the sentiment. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and ink up the sentiment. And this is kind of textured, so I am going to press and hold for just a minute to make sure that the ink absorbs really well into the watercolor paper. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then let's stamp the ladybugs. You don't want to stamp too close to the bottom or too close to the edge because we are going to cut this out using the Big Shot. So I'm just going to, hopefully I can line this up, stamp the ladybugs just a little bit above that sentiment. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so you can put the basic gray away, and then let's bring in some real red ink. I'm gonna squeeze my ink pad a few times. Then when I open it up, I've got some ink here in the lid. I'm gonna use that ink to watercolor. So what I'm going to do is I'm using the aqua painter that has the clear cap, and this one is the smaller aqua painter. So I've just got a little rag here off to the side that I'm using to clean off my aqua painter with. Okay, so I'm just going to get a little bit of water in the barrel, not too much, because this image is really small and the ink bleeds really easily. And I really don't want too much of that to happen. It did on my first card, so I'm going to try to be a little bit more careful this time. Okay, so I'm just bringing in a little bit more ink. Trying not to have too much water so it doesn't bleed quite as much this time. Okay, do the other ladybug. Okay, I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. I think that looks pretty good. Just clean off my brush a little bit more. Get all that ink off. Okay. And you can put away your real red. That's all we need it for. All right, so I've got my Big Shot here, and what I'm going to do is bring in my multi-purpose platform on tab 2. Then I'm going to put down a cutting plate. Then I'm going to bring in my watercolored ladybug image here. And I'm going to use the Layering Ovals framelits to cut this out. So I'm going to start by cutting out the ladybugs. And I want to make sure that's pretty centered. Okay, let's bring this a little closer. I'm going to add another cutting plate on top and run that through the Big Shot. Okay. So that is all cut out. Cute. Now I'm going to put the same sandwich back together, And I'm going to bring in a piece of basic gray cardstock, and I'm going to bring in the scalloped oval that will layer behind the ladybug image, and I'm just going to run that through as well. Alrighty, and now we've got our 2 die cut pieces. So let's go ahead and start assembling this card. All right, I'm going to bring in a piece of Whisper White cardstock. This is cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4. I forgot when we were stamping earlier that I wanted to also stamp those cute little ladybugs on the inside of the card just to jazz up the inside. So I'm going to stamp them right in the bottom right corner. Perfect. They're so cute. Okay, now let's start doing some assembly work here. So I'm going to bring in my card base. This is a piece of basic gray cardstock. This is cut at 11 inches by 4 1/4, and I have scored it at 5 1/2, and it will be a top folding or vertical folding card. Let me go ahead and crease this. Where's my bone folder? Okay, so let's add the black layer first. So I've got some basic black cardstock. This is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and I'm going to layer this sort of offset on the front of the card, like that. And I'm going to use Fast Fuse to do that. All right, that looks good. Then I've got a piece of the Polka Dot Real Red Designer Series paper. This has a scripty font on one side, and then you've got the polka dots on the other. This is from the Brights collection of Designer Series paper. So just gonna add Fast Fuse. And I'm going to offset this the opposite direction, sort of like, let's do about right here. Okay, and let's go ahead and add our inside layer. Okay, so now we've got those cute little ladybugs on the inside. Okay, and we can layer our watercolor piece onto our basic black. Gonna center that, make sure I've got it where I want it. Okay, that's perfect. And I don't know if you were able to really see the watercoloring on these ladybugs or not. Sometimes in videos it can be hard to see, but isn't that so cute? I love these ladybugs. That's really the main reason I got this stamp set. Okay, let's go ahead and add this piece onto the front of the card. And we're going to put this piece on straight and in the center. So I think right about there looks good. All right, so I want to jazz this card up. So I'm going to bring in some of our silver 1/8 inch ribbon, and I'm going to leave the ribbon on the roll, and I'm just going to tie a little bow here. So just make a loop and then loop around. Pull it through and then tighten. And then from here you can adjust the tails to make your loops as big as you want. Okay, I think that's about how I want it. So I'm just gonna trim off these ends like that. Let's see, like, so we're going to add the bow right about here in the top left corner using a glue dot. So I'm going to see if I can just fold one of these in half like that, okay, and just stick that bow right into that glue dot. Alrighty, and add it to this top left corner right about there. Okay, after I did that, I actually felt like it needed a little bit more, so I brought in one of my favorite things, White Perfect Accents. And we're gonna add 2 of the smallest ones down here to the bottom right-hand corner, just to kind of balance the card out a little bit more. These things are great. Add these to your wish list for sure. There we go. Okay, so that finishes up this super cute card. So let's just bring back the original. I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. I had a blast. I absolutely love how this card turned out. Oh yeah, you can see here how much better I did on my watercoloring. This was the first try, and here's the second. This looks a lot better. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you would like to purchase any of the supplies that you saw me use today, I have a coordinating blog post link just below this video in the description notes. It'll take you straight to my website at QuitaBugHandmades.com. I also have all of the measurements listed out over there as well, and you can place your order with me today. So thank you again so much for joining me, and I will see you again real soon. Bye now.